A lot of you guys asked me what's my farming route for launch of Ragnarok Zero Global, and I want to answer this in today's video, but I want to answer it in two ways. First, I'm gonna go through the characters that I will be making as my auto hunters for the release and onwards. I'm gonna say until the end of the very first month at least, and then I'm gonna link my actual route planner on midgardhub.com in this video's description. Alright, let's not dilly-dally, so I'm gonna be making two merchants, which eventually are gonna go into the blacksmiths. Why merchants, you ask? Well, simply because of the increased weight limit. That is probably the biggest thing about them. They also have a card, and they also do have card revolution to use as the auto-hunting system goes in, and overcharge, and then as they continue to become blacksmiths, you get super high damage, and more importantly, you get the skill called finding ore, or discovery, it's called in some other servers. If you don't know what it is, Google it. It's extremely overpowered in my opinion. If you're killing or even auto farming hundreds of thousands of monsters per day sometimes. So these two merchants and eventually blacksmiths will be having the main goal of making me raw zeny, or at least farming me items that I can sell for zeny to other players. Now what are they gonna farm? I've talked about it many times in my videos before, so if you're interested in like a deeper dive into it, please head over to my channel and find a whole lot of videos on the topic. But the gist is they're gonna be farming easy to get equipment like coats, hoods, cotton shirts, chainmail, big bunkers like hammers and ring pommel sabers, and of course the refined materials like rough iridescents, rough aluminiums, and then maybe if we get lucky a couple of wind of vergers, couple of green lives, couple of crystal blues whatsoever. And monsters that we're going to be targeting are pretty much going to be, you know, your usual early game monsters like Cocos, the Anthel, the entire Anthel, Pickies, Payon Cave level 1, Culverts, maybe Payon Cave level 2, and maybe, depending on, you know, the amount of people that are going to be on the map, we're also going to try and gonna target the Megalodons to get a couple of Damascuses for all the thieves and rogues. Now here's something that might be a little bit surprising to some of you guys, but I'm not gonna go with any strength on my merchant. I'm just gonna go with agi, mostly for flee and the attack speed, probably about 50 points maximum, and then I'm gonna move into getting luck for him or her. It simply because of the crit, the hit, the attack, and the perfect dodge that you get from luck. So it's like a catch-all stat almost for any melee build. I don't see the point of going with strength when I can get a big bunker with additional affixes on it with attack plus almost 30 and then flee plus and then maybe increased percent damage to like insect or brute monsters, and then I can slap some really useful cards on top of that like Andre, Wolf, maybe a soldier skeleton if someone gets lucky and I can buy it, maybe a caramel card, and you know, things like this. We talked about it in previous videos. Now my next auto hunting class is gonna be an Acolyte. I'll probably run it for only the very first month. We'll see how things turn out, you know, in the meantime, but that's the plan for now, simply because the increased agi and teleport make your card farming like level 100. I don't think there's a better class for farming cards than an Acolyte. It's basically the IM speed of farming cards. Why? Because increasing the chances of getting cards is only really done by killing more monsters than anybody else. Like, no percentage drop chance buff really works on cards, except for 100% ones, which we do not have. And there's really no way for you to get more cards by, I don't know, stealing them by playing a thief or something else. There's no other way, just except for killing more monsters, which the Acolyte is gonna excel for these particular cases. Now what are the cases, you might ask? Well, you can see them on the screen. These are gonna be, for the most part, except for the Andre, any good cards or any good monsters that drop good cards that you can one-shot. So like Rodafrog cards, extremely useful, extremely easy to kill. Same with Pupas and same with Willows. All players will need those cards or will want those cards, and Andre is just like an additional thing that I will maybe farm later on, right, once I'm done with anything else. Now, why those particularly are going to be super easy to get in farm as an Acolyte is that you have increased agi, so that it lets you move faster to the next monster compared to any other character in the game. And that by itself already increases your chances by, you know, a very good margin, simply because you're killing more monsters during the same time than any other class is there on the map with you. And you also have access to teleport, so you do not need to use fly wings and spend zeny just by farming, you know, just for farming cards, right? So it's like a built-in teleportation situation and a faster movement situation. It's perfect for farming cards in my opinion. Debate me in the comments. Now, how do I build the Acolyte farming cards? Well, pretty much the same way that I would build a merchant, really. I haven't really planned for it that much, simply because the targets that I have in mind should die in one hit regardless of the weapon that I'm using. But if I were to actually like distribute stats and add some guards into her gear, this is the same exact setup that I would use for my merchant, which kind of is cool because I can create that setup and use it interchangeably, depends on the difficulty of the monsters that certain character is farming, which is kind of cool. Now, I said earlier this character isn't gonna last forever, so once she's done farming all the cards that I need her to farm and that I want to sell to other people, I'm probably gonna stop her and make another character, which will most likely be an archer, simply because I want a dancer to be my alt, but that's for my supportive play, not necessarily for auto hunting. And that's about it. Thank you for your time, thank you for watching. Do not forget about the link in the description. I'm linking my road planner from midgardhub.com so that you can see which monsters I'm gonna actually farm and why. I left some notes in it. You can import it to your road planner and make your own. So it's a pretty cool little tool that I made. And, you know, leave it in the comments. What do you guys think about my plan? What would you change, improve? Maybe you have some other ideas. I'm really open to discussing all that. So I'll see you guys in there.